Here's what history books do tell us about Teddy Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt was William McKinley's vice president. When McKinley was assassinated in 1901, Theodore became president. He was also elected the 26th president in 1904. He declined to run in the 1908 election. Roosevelt is most known for his quote, "Speak softly but carry a big stick." He is also known for being the driving force to get the Panama Canal built. He is also known for leading the charge up San Juan Hill in the Philippines during the Spanish-American War in 1898. Theodore Roosevelt died on January 6, 1919. What history books don't tell us about Theodore Roosevelt? When Teddy was 7 years old, his family lived in an apartment on Broadway in New York City. Abraham Lincoln's funeral procession in 1865 went down Broadway, and the young Teddy witnessed the procession. The first U.S. president to ride in an automobile was Theodore Roosevelt. He rode in a parade in Hartford, Connecticut on August 22, 1902. 20 carriages followed the president's car. He also became the first president to own a car. Theodore Roosevelt was also the first president to ride in an airplane. It was a Wright biplane, and he flew in it on October 11, 1910 in St. Louis, Missouri. Archibald Hoxsey was the pilot. After leaving office in 1908, Theodore Roosevelt went on a safari in South America. While on another hunting trip, Roosevelt came upon a mother bear and her cub. He refused to allow the bears to be shot. The story made its way into the newspapers, where it appeared in a cartoon. A candy store owner in New York heard the story and decided to make a stuffed bear using Roosevelt's nickname Teddy. Roosevelt agreed to have his name used on the toy, and it became the teddy bear. One of President Theodore Roosevelt's most lasting and significant contributions to the world was the permanent preservation of some of the most unique natural resources of the United States. According to the National Geographic, the area of the United States placed under public protection by Theodore Roosevelt as national parks, national forests, and game reserves, and other federal reservations comes to a total of approximately 233 million acres, or about 84,000 acres per day. In the late 19th century, the game of football was an incredibly violent and extremely dangerous sport. Scores of players were badly injured, and dozens more died playing football, often at America's top prep schools and colleges. In 1905, the Harvard University president tried to abolish the game. President Theodore Roosevelt acknowledged the football's dangers, but admired its potential for building character. His own son played on the Harvard team at the time. In 1905, he summoned the coaches of Harvard, Yale, and Princeton to the White House and urged them to act. The result was the establishment of the National Collegiate Athletic Association, as well as a series of rule changes, including the advent of the forward pass. Prior to this change, only lateral passes were legal. This change ultimately saved football and transformed it into the classic American game it is today. All you sports fans, send a thank you letter to the Teddy Roosevelt estate. On October 14, 1912, Teddy Roosevelt was in Milwaukee to give a campaign speech. He was known to give long-winded speeches that lasted 2 or more hours. As he approached the podium, a shot could be heard. Roosevelt quickly ran his hands over his chest and upper legs and announced that he was okay. He then reached in his vest pocket and pulled the tri-folded copy of his speech out. He noticed a hole in the manuscript and a small amount of blood was on his fingers. He proceeded to continue his speech after making the comment, "It takes more than that to kill a bull moose." The political party he was running on was the Bull Moose Party. Midway in giving his speech, Roosevelt collapsed. A doctor came forward and examined him. It was discovered that the bullet was slowed down significantly by the thickness of his feet, so Roosevelt only had a flesh wound.